as Walter makes a run ahead of him. Bergkamp suddenly changed pace through the centre. It's Bergkamp! That's magnificent! The move, and then this, which left Dabby's ass totally stranded.
Hello and welcome to ABW Live. Arsenal 0, Liverpool 2. And you can tell I've decided that when we lose, I'm going to use the crossed out version of the players countdown. And when we win, I'm not going to use that one at all. So I'm just going to do a little tweet to say we are live, because that is indeed what we are. And with me this afternoon, tonight, this morning, I don't know what bloody time it is. It's Stan, the man from sunny, rainy, wet Canada. You all right, Stan?
Yeah, not bad. Thanks for having me back on again.
You seem to be the person I do most of these with, because we're like Party and Jacker. We've got something working here, so we're just going to stick with it, whether the people like it or not.
And also,
I was listening to the first ever ABW Live that we did with video cameras. It was episode ABW Live 4. This is 390. It was November 2014, and guess who who had a message in the chat that we read out your name? It was you.
Me?
Yeah, and I've got a message here from Stan the Man 68 or whatever it was, and then I read out what you said. And our Carl, he had a message read out, and he wasn't part of ABW then. And also someone who's been doing stuff with ABW for a very long time, not much recently because he's been moving and other things. It's Deac. How you doing, Treacle?
I'm all right. Quite positive and quite optimistic about the future of Arsenal Football Club here. Despite the final result.
Are you speaking like a dirty northerner yet? Now that you've moved up to north.
See that? Well, that's to a Cockney like myself. Anything outside the M25 is pretty much Mordor. But to the people where I am now in the East Midlands, they don't class this as North, because this is just Midlands. So no, I've not picked up any words apart from the fact that everyone calls everyone duck around here. So
help me, duck.
That's the one. That's the one. Lots of that.
Far. We should work out exactly how far you are from Sian, so you can go. If you shop at Lidl, I can send you to her shop, and you can freak her out by going, "Aren't you on that podcast?"
Yes, do that.
I don't think you shop at Lidl, though, do you? I know things are bad, but they're not that bad yet, are they?
No, they're not that bad just yet. Not just yet.
It's been a while since we've had actually 3 London geezers on here. I can't remember the last time. Probably me and Carl and maybe, I don't think Chris. No, Chris wasn't born. Then maybe me, Carl, and John, because John's born in that area, or Jeff. Anyway, all next week's podcast is coming together, people. I did that Aston Villa podcast today. That bloke is coming on as a guest next week. A lovely fellow, 17 years old, and he's already better than most of ABW. He's brilliant. And it's going to be, this week is me, Josh, Carl, and maybe Femi. The best squad is there. Let's go and say hello to some of the cheeky monkeys in the chat. See what we got there. We have got Phil Macco, who's changed his bio. He's looking like one of the people out of the Blues Brothers. He says that wasn't our usual humiliation. Progress is there to be seen. And as for Martinelli, wow! And to think Man United didn't rate him, and we got him for $6 million. Very proud of our team right now. Well, Phil spunked his load. First message. Expect nothing but drivel from him for the rest of the night. Hovey is there. Well, we have finally reached our only 2 or 2 players away from something special. Another good point. Michael's there. Stat padding on the Twitch, which is lovely. We do love some of that. Go and get Stream Manager up. Lovely. Avon Not Teddington is also there. Very frustrated because there's a pattern here of doing well in the first half, then figuring us out and doing us in the second, and it happened again. We are failing to learn. Well, I wouldn't say we're failing to learn. Stan, would you say we're failing to learn?
No, not at all. I just think that sometimes on the day, the better team wins.
Yeah.
Also, we've got to get better at maintaining the pressure.
We are learning, aren't we?
There was a few moments. I'm sure we'll go over it in a little bit, but the first goal, there was a couple of things that needed to be, slightly needed to be different. And in the second goal, there was, something that needed to be different, which could have prevented it all. But I think overall, we had a great evening. But I think it was good overall.
Brendan's there from Australia. Howdy doody. There's lots of Paul Nell, Naz is there, David Masters is there, damn. Yes, morning in Melbourne. I knew you were somewhere in sunny Oz. Bernadette is there, not quite at Liverpool or City's level. I think that sums it up perfectly, Bernadette. They are the two trendsetters in the league, and we're catching them up. Our three of our best games this season have been 0-0 away at Liverpool, and the 2-1 loss at home and the 2-0 loss tonight. We kept them going for 53 minutes. They were on the back foot.
They should be beating us. They should be beating us. They're competing for the title. They've spent the money. They've put in the hours. They've put in the years of doing this non-stop. They should be winning this game. They should. We're in a transition period of building a squad, and the youngest squad in the Premier League with a brand new, untested manager. They should be beating us. But we, just like Danny said, we kept them on their toes for a considerable period of football of time, and it was fantastic to watch.
It was. Stan Ant says, couple of players short of beating teams like Liverpool. A few people have said already in the chat, we're just a couple of players away, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
I think this game was just shows you exactly that, we are lacking somebody at the sharp end of the team and one in midfield. But I have mixed feelings about this game because we've put out our best 11 against a team like Liverpool, and we're using that as a barometer to see where we've come. But as I said in the pre-show with you earlier, my eye was more on the 3 points at the table at Villa. And my only concern now is that we go to Villa. I hope that even if we put out our first 11, that they're going to be sharp and not a bit jaded playing 3 games in a week.
It is. Okay, there's a question there from Nose. I remember if you put a question in there, I star it and save it for later. Russ says, sick of losing to this mob. 4 games this season, no goals at all. But they're the best team. They are probably. I mean, if Liverpool played peak Man City this season, home and away over two legs, Deac, who do you think would win if you had an aggregate score? Because
they're really well. That's the thing, that they're both really, it's a really, really tight table at the moment at the very top between them. What's it, a point between them now?
Yes.
I think there wouldn't be too much difference between them if they were going head to head for a while. I think it would be like heads and tails. It's a 50-50. They're both fantastic football clubs, and they spend a lot of money, and they've got these things in place which propels them to the top of the English Premier League where they are right now. I think it'd be very, very tight. I don't think you could call it.
What do you reckon, Stan?
That first half, I mean, to a man, everybody was doing their job. Everybody was working as a team. Even some of our flair players like Martinelli was coming back and tracking and doing dirty stuff as well. And I haven't seen that in such a long time. It seems like for such a while that there's been little pockets of cliques within the team. Everybody seems to be on the same page. Yeah, everybody's working from the same hymn sheet. And when that whistle went at half time, I was like, we're still in this big time. We're still in this big time. It's just how long can you keep playing like that for another 45 against Liverpool?
Yeah, let's. I think in general people are quite. You're getting Thunder saying hello to your mum in Cyprus. That's nice to him.
Sure.
Watching though, he's got roaming hands, and you don't want to have to go around and put him in a shallow grave, do you? Because that's you don't need that, not anymore. It's okay. Question there from Phil. Add that to the rest. Let's go through our notes, shall we? First minute, great save from Van Dijk, powerful header. That stand showed that they were actually going to attack for a while, didn't it? I thought they were just going to sit back, whereas that, which is what they eventually did. But yeah, good save from Ramsdale, because although he was at fault for the first goal, I think, like Bernadette says in the chat, says you can't save every goal. And he's had 12 clean sheets out of 24 games this season, a 50% ratio of clean sheets in the Premier League. How many other goalkeepers have got that?
Yeah, and again, it was we keep our record at keeping out corners, right? We've got a really good record at that. So that was a good save early doors, but it was like it kept me sharp when I was watching my sofa. I'm like, right, I'm barely in the nest, I've barely got all my stuff around me, and it's already happening. Couldn't take my eyes off the screen from the word go.
Yeah, Deac, 11 minutes. Remember, you two, if you've got anything between these minutes, do let me know. But I've put 11 minutes. Saka is running wild down the right. Robertson just can't handle him. It's just a thing of beauty.
I think it's probably got something to do with a party pass from the centre of the park, and he just pinged an absolute beautiful ball down the right-hand side, and Saka was causing a lot of trouble tonight. Always on the last man, as was Martinelli, and they were talking about it in the latter stages of the game about Martinelli playing like that Thierry Henry, starting his career out on the left and then playing more central because he's always on the last man making those really, really deep runs. The only thing I've got was Odegaard putting in the hard press quite early doors and kind of getting everyone involved. He even got Lacazette kind of going as well. I thought that was a key element. The fact that Odegaard was leading the frontal defence, considering he's our most creative player, it shows his versatility.
Yeah, Stan, 15 minutes. I've put Partey and Ramsdale, long, accurate passes to Martinelli and Saka are causing no end of problems for Liverpool. I mean, most teams will have one player, the quarterback position kind of thing, launching the balls all over the pitch. I mean, Ramsdale may only really be able to do it down to Martinelli because he's right-footed. But those things they had no defence against that, did they? Because like Deac was just saying, in right at the beginning, you had Odegaard running right over to their left back Robertson and taking him on, and lucky not to get a yellow card. I think that was the referee deciding no one was getting yellow cards tonight, no matter what happened. But the pressure that we've got and those accurate passes from those two quarterback-ish style, that's working wonders, isn't it?
In the first 20 minutes or so, it was mostly Saka, who was almost like our target man, which for me is a little bit concerning because when he is able to get the ball and take it past the player and go for the cross, again, it shows that we're telling in that sharp edge of the pitch where Lacazette can't quite get into the box in time because his knees won't get him there as quick. And it's, we're using our winger as a target man instead of somebody in the middle. So we're having to adjust our play to allow for that. But we get into when he gets to make the cross, it's Odegaard that he's looking for because Lacazette's having trouble getting up there.
Yes, doing another little cheeky tweet there. Lovely. Anyone got anything before 18 minutes? The Mane usual dive, even though he's not that kind of player.
The only thing I'll say is, the Mane dive was disgusting. He's fucking the state of that guy is just unbelievable. Attitude, absolute total attitude. The only thing I will say is, I enjoy watching Arsenal Football Club at the moment. Do you remember a time, last season when even still, playing out from the back at all costs was still quite stressful and frustrating, and there'd be moments where mistakes were made, especially when we had Mustafi and David Luiz in the side, and we're playing those backwards passes to retain the position and persistently play out from the back. Tonight, I saw confidence playing out from the back where when I was watching it, I was just enjoying it. And I wasn't getting stressed and frustrated and going, oh my God, something's going to happen here. I think overall, on the 15th minute, there was a lovely, minute or so passage of play where we were just so confident in our ability and their teammates' abilities to be able to pull it off against one of the top sides in Europe. It was just brilliant.
See, I'm a little bit the other way, especially when we do a pass back to the keeper. I still have a few palpitations.
Really?
I'm still a little bit on edge, and I'm literally shouting, "Stop that! Stop passing it back!"
I would only agree with you if it was still Leno between the sticks, but because it's Ramsdale and he's shown I've lost count of how many situations that he's got that ability, and in his locker, he's really from the Leicester game and the Leeds game where we just went, right, that's it. We love this fella. We're behind him 100%. So that's interesting because I've never felt more at ease with the fact that we're playing out from the back because we're making it look very, very easy.
Yeah, compared to how remember that first game under Emery with checking goal and then they stood there and went, we don't know what to do. That's how Leno got into the team so early.
Yeah.
And well, we all know the rest from there, don't we? Stan, looking at there's no better way than to test yourself against the ultimate opponents. So if we look at the last 5 games between Liverpool and Arsenal, the first time we lost 3-0 at home, then we lost 4-0 away, and then we had the 2 League Cup games, 0-0 away, 2-0 at home, and then 2-0 tonight. Those 5 games, you can definitely see a progression and improvement, can't you? In almost every aspect apart from goal scoring.
You can't go. It's very rare that you're going to go through the whole season and win every game. There's going to be losses along the way, and for me, it's always about the manner of the loss. And it's been a while that I've come away from an Arsenal game that we've lost, but I still feel quite hopeful about things. I'm not coming away thinking, it's the end of the world. We put in a really good performance today, a really good performance. It's a shame that we couldn't at least nick a goal and have something to show for it, but some really good chances, some really good plays of football. Like Deac said earlier as well, pressing from the front with Odegaard, getting everybody going. We're just missing that last little piece at the tip of the team. That striker that can maybe nick us an early goal and settle the nerves a little bit, or somebody that come in at the last minute and chip in with a goal. We're missing someone that can give us at least 17 goals a season. Those bread and butter scenarios, who can do the things like what Jota did today.
Yeah.
That kind of a goal. That's what we're missing. Once we get that, and another piece in the midfield, we'll be away at the races, I think, because as Deac said, you can see the pattern. You can see how we're playing now.
Yeah,
it's definitely. I think everyone, like they say in business, we're all on the same page. Sometimes before we weren't even reading the same book. Deac, 19 minutes, one of my highlights of the match. The ball is coming down our left-hand side, and Terence Trent D'Arby's got it, and Martinelli went, sister, ran after him, got the ball off him, and then ran off with it. When you're doing that to someone like Terence Trent D'Arby, you really know you have got some hell of a player there. And it's at the end of the game, this bit, but Martinelli played the entire 90 minutes. How many times has he done that in his Arsenal time in an important game? Amazing. So what do you think about that?
As I was saying earlier about the Odegaard and the fact that we're defending from the front, we've got Martinelli who's got that ability to pickpocket. Saka proving it against, what was it, Leicester, when he picked the pocket and Laka played the back pass, the back heel, and he rifled it into the top of the net. Or was that again? Yeah, I think that was Leicester. Anyway, we've got that ability to be able to maintain and defend from the front, which is something that I've not seen in quite some time. On the 23rd minute as well, we had a party tackle quite far up the pitch as well. Slid in and made such an important challenge so far up the field. I think it was a bad call from a referee. There was like a couple of bad calls from a referee as well around that time, where it was a little bit frustrating. We could have had a chance to capitalise on some Liverpool mistakes, but they were playing the cards tonight, as Mane did in the earlier on with his what was it, a little free kick or a penalty shout? I can't remember what it was now, but he was quite cheeky, so was the Liverpool team overall. But the team fantastic, pushing from the front, brilliant. That's what you need. You need it in this generation of football. You need it. You need to be defending from the front.
You do indeed. That's all I've got for the first half. Stan, you got anything else?
Yeah, around that 20-minute mark, around the 22-minute mark, we were doing a lot of nice build-up play. There was one move where Xhaka picked out Saka. It went into Cedric, who took a shot that was just a little bit wide. Didn't quite have enough on it, but we were doing some nice movements.
Yeah. Deac, you got anything?
Yeah, I got a few things.
Sean rang me and her mum, and she was waffling on because I sent her up my old washing machine.
Oh, okay, yeah, no problems. No problems. There was a moment where Liverpool had the ball quite early on in our half, and Arsenal's press was just so good that we forced them with errors and stuff. So that was really, really nice that we were still maintaining the push from the centre of the park and not just from the front. So I thought that was quite nice. Cedric, overall, he was unlucky with the first goal, but overall, we haven't missed Tomiyasu as much as I'm like, where the bloody hell was this guy? And the unfortunateness of him having the exact same injury to his entirely other leg, it's crazy, but I guess that's what happens. But Cedric, I'm really happy. I was skeptical with the sale of Chambers to Aston Villa in the January transfer. I thought, Tomiyasu has fitted in the team so well with his stature, with his ability and his style of play as a right back. And I thought Chambers mimicked that much better than Cedric did, as well as he Chambers finished the season the latter last season quite well. So I was quite weirded out by that. But overall, Cedric, he's unfortunate today, but overall he's been quite good. And then just more Martinelli praise more than anything. I think he had a chance just before the first end of the first half, and then the commentators were once again talking about Jurgen Klopp and the fact that he's praising Martinelli quite prevalently in the media at the moment, which is an interesting conversation. You see a lot of Liverpool fans hyping themselves up on social media, talking about how they're going to be picking the pockets of the Arsenal and taking away someone of that ability back to Anfield. But there we are.
Also, as well, Xhaka flashed a shot wide just across the face of goal, which was quite close as well.
Oh, yeah, it was an outswinger. Yeah.
Yeah, another player that had a good game today as well. Xhaka played at
not allowed to say that, man. You can't say that.
Like Cedric, you have to give credit where credit's due. These are two players that, over months past, I've not had really good words to say about them for. But when they play well, you have to hold your hands up and say another good game by the pair of them, I felt.
Anyway, we're still games in hand, FC, and that was the hardest game we had for the rest of the season, and I think we showed ourselves out to do quite well. Nitsu, how do you say that? I'm thinking the J might be silent. Nitsu says, the best thing about this match is that we know exactly what we need, a new striker, Xhaka replacement and experience, including the manager needs experience, but we don't need a new manager. Do let me know how you phonetically say your name and I'll try and get it right. Rudy says, next 6 fixtures: Aston Villa away, Crystal Palace away, Brighton at home, Southampton home, Chelsea away, and Man United at home. There's only one hard fixture there. We saw tonight that Villarreal, Unai Emery, went to Juventus and beat them 3-0 in the Champions League. Unreal. And Chelsea, I think they won 2-1. So Chelsea know they're not going to win the league this season. They know they've almost definitely got top 4. So when it comes to them playing us, they're still going to have FA Cup games. They're going to have the Champions League games. Meanwhile, we'll have been sitting there of going, is that the 1, 2, 3? No, that's not part of the. The Chelsea game is part of the 5 games in 19 days. That's at the very end of it. That's not good for us. Yeah, any other notes on the first half, Deac or Stan?
No, nothing really. Just the Cedric and Martinelli finishing the game out quite nicely. Tierney beating Diaz quite 35th minute. Tierney outpacing Luis Diaz on a run on the right hand, on the left hand side. Was it the right hand side? It felt like it was the right hand side. Tierney. Somebody said something quite interesting on the Arsblog podcast that I listened to last week. And they were talking about the fact that is Tierney not as good this season, or has everyone else just really, really stepped up their game and it's made Tierney not look as good because he really stood out for us, last season and whatnot. What do you guys think of that? Is it the fact that the team is just playing so much better than what Tierney's used to playing like last season, or do you think he's having a poor season?
I think a little bit there's been a shift in the position of Granit Xhaka in the team. He's playing a little bit further up the pitch. And I think maybe Mikel Arteta's come across the fact that if you keep Xhaka further away from our goal, then the less mischief will happen at that end of the pitch. Whereas before he was, Tierney was bombing up that left-hand side and it was Granit Xhaka that would come into that space. And I think now some of that space has been occupied a little bit and he's just having to be a little bit more conservative in his play. I don't think that he's dropped to level. It's just the style of play. It means that he's not bombing up as much and getting those crosses in.
It's like David has put in the chat. He really stood out when the rest of the team was shit, and because that seemed to be our only avenue of attack. And just showed how good he was.
That's exactly the point that I think that person was trying to put across was Tierney just playing decent when everyone else was playing so bad, and the other way around as well.
When Tierney came into the team, he was still untainted, right? Everybody else was in a bit of a funk. He came in, with piss and vinegar, braving the snow and hailstones. He just wanted to play.
Yeah, that's a good point. Phil's made a second decent point. He'd probably die after this. I'm assuming with Martinelli on the left that Tierney is staying back as well. You're not going to have 2 left wingers, are you? You don't need to. You need to get all that way forward, get part of the way, give the ball to whoever needs it. and then get back again. He did a lot of clearances today, which is interesting. Rather than trying to play themselves out of trouble on the wings, they were clearing.
That's a really good point, actually. That's a really good point, because obviously last season, Aubameyang was generally playing there, wasn't he? And he's not known for chasing back and making defensive challenges. So therefore, we've had to change things up just a little bit here tactically based on who's in front of each other. So, I'll tell you what, though, the Saka and Cedric combinations, that's something that surprised me over the time. As well as the little social media video. Did you see Cedric teaching Saka how to swim front stroke and stuff? I thought that was quite interesting. It's a good little video. Saka couldn't swim, and so Cedric's teaching him how to do a front stroke, and Saka ends up picking it up quite fast. And it's good to see the team gelling with just stupid little things. I think the small things make a big difference. So it was quite nice to see stuff like that.
Because I got the Arsenal Twitter account banned, not blocked, not because of them, but because of all the shit people keep retweeting. I don't need to see it all. There's loads of shit I got blocked like that. People in the chat, you beautiful people, put in the chat what your thoughts were at half time. Try and keep it short, maybe one sentence, and then I'll read it out. Stan, thoughts at half time? I've put great first half. They have nothing and are struggling to deal with us.
I just scribbled down on my pad that I've got here. Fantastic first half.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you can say more than that.
Well, I did tweet out a little bit more. Defending from the front, pressing from the front, defending as a team. But on my pad, I just put fantastic first half.
Yeah. I literally just put can't wait for next season, but in a positive way, because obviously that sentence has a negative connotation. I'm looking forward to next season now. Things are going so badly. But I'm thinking of it as we're going to be 6 months. We're not going to be competing with anything here. I really think that fourth place is going to be ours. The summertime is going to be an incredible time. We're going to have Champions League rep and money, and we're back in that as well. So we've got the reputation for it, and we'll be having a fantastic summer. Everybody loves a shiny new striker. We're potentially going to be going out and getting 2. I think it's going to be a good summer, and I'm really looking forward to the start of the season, because, as we've been saying all evening so far, we only need a couple of pieces, and I think this jigsaw puzzle is ready to get going. I'm really optimistic about the next season. Really optimistic.
Let's see what the punters were saying. Michael said it looked good at half time, and lots of numbers. Here comes disaster. David, I was really happy. Thought we were playing well. Richard would have liked to have seen Tavares come on. He's a game changer either end. Yeah, that's quite true. Bit raw. Formerly Noza, could nick a win here. Phil was very happy at half time, but felt one Liverpool goal and the game would be dead. And Super says, felt good at half time. Knew Klopp would manage them back. Russ, good first half, but you could see Liverpool would go up a few more gears. David, impressive first half from the boys. Loki says, loads of you have done it. Jolly good. Keep it going. Dejan, after second goal we synced, but if this squad at least 90% stayed 2 seasons, we will rule the Premier League. Loki says thumbs up. Richard, I put down look out for Thiago. There wasn't a stat that Thiago was born in Italy, plays for Spain, and his dad won the World Cup with Brazil.
Okay.
Thiago Alcantara, like the old Cortina seats were made from. And he's got a brother who plays football as well. Plays for Bayern Munich, one of the other teams. They're a footballing dynasty, but they've all got different names, like most people do. But you don't hear their surnames. Right. Phil Macker says Mbappe's coming in. He's been talking to Chris again. BX says, missed the first half, waiting for the rain for a school bus that was 25 minutes late. Let him walk home. That's what I would do. Super says, bummed at the final, but cleaned the grill and ready to cook some meat. I've only had tuna rolls today. Nick says, I was at work and had no idea what the score was at half time. That's an alternative view to it. Ravinda weathered the corners and starting to take over in the first half. Looked a proper team. Very, very, very well put. Bernadette half time was expecting a win, but wasn't surprised when they took the lead. Kind of. Sai says Satisfied with the performance, disappointed we didn't score. We will lose the second half as we cannot keep up the pressure and tempo. Sai is very wise, apart from when he puts hashtag everybody out, which means that's what he's going to do sometime in the next minute. How did Thiago man of the match? Martinelli all day long. Did Thiago
got man of the match?
Well, looking at whoscored.com, man of the match there was, who they're getting 7-1, 7-2. Thiago got a 7-8 on there. No, Robertson got an 8-2. Fucking hell, they're obviously on crack. That's a load of nonsense. And Will T says, we're examining and crediting the best bits of a loss. That's how far we are from being winners.
I don't agree with any of that. Unfortunately, I don't agree with that. I think we're in a transition. We're not Man United. We haven't got the money put into the squad and paying the wages that United are doing, where they should be winning things now, just like Chelsea. Now they've signed a £100 million striker in Lukaku, and Kai Havertz is keeping him out of the side. Now, you know what I mean? I thought it was you. We're not. Problem is when you track back to the Arsenal days when we were very successful, in the Invincibles and stuff, it kind of sets a standard, and you're always having to think that's what the standard is. Liverpool for a very, very long time, weren't very successful. You remember when we were still playing in the Champions League, Liverpool weren't in the Champions League, and they were rebuilding and they were getting there. And now they've been a dominant force in English football now for 3-4 years, even more. So we're going through that period. So we're not about that. That's what our expectations are now. Liverpool should be winning that game convincingly, but we looked brilliant, and I enjoyed it much more than I thought I would. I really think that we've got something here. As I said, we all know we need a couple of pieces, and I think we can really get going. I think there's a lot of positives to get from this. A lot.
Yeah, Stan. What do you think on that?
I agree with everything. Now, I mean, I just get worried sometimes that we're only, an injury or a red card away from an important player having to miss a few games. Sure. Because we're so shorn for backup. We're only a couple of pieces away in our first 11, but we still need a few in the back. We still need a little bit of some reserves that can come in. If we're going to be in all competitions next season, we're going to need a lot more than what we've got now, because the first 11 that we have, even if you change a couple of pieces up front and in the midfield, they can't go for all of those games. So there's a lot of work to be done in the summer, as well as the two main pieces. You've got to have some good backup as well.
Quote here from Rudy. As always, Rudy, thank you very much for digging these out. He says, quote from Arteta, quote, from box to box, I thought we were maybe the better team, but unfortunately, these games are won in the boxes. Deac, what does that say to you? What's the underlying message there?
I think it's the old age saying. I say it all the time as well. The game is won in the midfield. We play a very dynamic style at the moment. Nobody thought that Xhaka would be playing that so far up the field, and Partey being used as the guy that sits. I would have definitely, as we all thought, would have been the other way around, considering what Partey has in his locker. But for some reason, it's working, and we dominated the midfield. I don't think Thiago had a very good game. I thought we had a couple of moments, but overall, I didn't even realise he was on the field until about half an hour into the game. Going to be honest. Games are won in the mid, and the Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard combination at the moment is it's looking very, very nice. Imagine if we get someone that can just do what Xhaka can do, but with legs.
We've got some questions about that.
That midfield's going to look very tasty, very tasty.
People, there's 7 questions we've starred so far. You put a little Q next to it, and if it's good, I'll save it for our questions later. Got another quote here, Stan. This is from Rudy again. Arteta on the fixture congestion. Thanks you so much to the Premier League for putting the fixtures like this. I'm very, very happy.
Is that what he said?
Rudy's done us dirty once, and he said he'll never do it again. So if Rudy says it.
Sounds like a bit of sarcasm there from me.
There we go. some more before you answer this, Stan. Arteta on the fixture list congestion. Thank you so much to the Premier League. They've done it again for when we have to play Chelsea and Man United. It's not fair what they've done to Arsenal. Bloody hell! Rudy wouldn't tell lies now, would you, Rudy? So that's verging on a fine, isn't it?
I don't. Did he say that? I don't think he would have said that.
Rudy wouldn't do that to us. Not again. Not after the last lot. When he said
Arteta's renowned for being quite reserved. I think that's. I don't know.
There's a lot of quote marks in there. That's a lot to try and type out and get it in the right way. I'd have messed up.
Maybe. I think that's quite ballsy from Arteta. Maybe he's turning a corner with how he's taking on things.
No, it's a genuine quote.
Wow. Okay.
And this Rudy is our official quote getter.
Yeah, he's showing a bit of gusto.
If this was Game of Thrones, Rudy would be the getter of quotes. No, the bringer of quotes. Stan, is he going to get in trouble for that?
I like it. You know, he takes care of his, he takes
doesn't necessarily mean it's a good idea.
I'd just be, if I was Arteta, look, don't worry, I'll take care of the business off the pitch. You take care of the business on the pitch, and I'll be there for you. I like it.
Yeah,
a lot of people have been saying for so long about Arsenal being a soft touch, Arsenal having a soft underbelly. Well, we're beginning to show a little bit more bite now. We're beginning to do things like, you know, when it's time to do a little bit of time wasting shithousery, we'll do that. You know, sometimes we will stick the boot in now. We will remonstrate with referees, and Mikel Arteta speaks out about some of the bad decisions I've got. I like it. We ain't got any friends. No one else is going to do it for us.
Yeah, that's true.
Not wrong.
BX says, shout out to Stan for scouting Darwin Núñez months ago. Tom Canton's Harry Seamu's wet in the bed about that. No, not wet in the bed. Getting overly excited. He might be getting very excited about it. If you follow Harry Seamu on Twitter, Chronicles of a Gooner, I think he did a video about that recently. So
it makes it sound like I was out there in the stands of Benfica with a sheepskin hat on and a pork pie hat on a rainy night, you know,
a big cigar, typing it into a PDA like it's 1992. Dylan Matthews says, we'll move on to the second half in a second. Main disappointment today for me was that we seemed content with 2-0. Didn't seem to try and get back in the game. Have to put it down to tiredness, but still a little disappointing. Deep, I wasn't disappointed. You could just see they were fucked, couldn't you?
They were fucked. They were completely fucked. I feel like that's the reason why mistakes, you know, a few little mistakes here and there were made eventually, which gave Liverpool the game overall. I think the commentators said at halftime perfectly what was going to happen. The commentators curse, can Arsenal maintain this pressure of putting Liverpool under the cosh when they're you know, their wing backs do what they do, which again is what they do. I couldn't fault them really. Apart, as I said, they maintained it for a good 50 minutes. It was impressive. I think we're only going to get better the more frequently and the more consistent. It's all about consistency. We just need to be consistent for the final games of the season, and I think, you know, top four is definitely ours for the taking, 100%. I think we just got to get the positives and move forward.
Stan, this one here from Shane. Remember I said by the time our young players develop, they'll get picked off by bigger clubs. Martinelli's trial for Liverpool was epic today.
They'll only get picked off if we're not achieving, right?
Agreed.
You know, if we're not achieving, and that's why I say, like, for me, the bigger picture was the 3 points at Villa, because getting into the Champions League, I mean, for me, the minimum has to be Europe of some kind, the Europa League. But if we can get to that big table of the Champions League, it opens so many doors. We attract a much better caliber of player, and then players like Martinelli and Saka, they'll be thinking, well, why would I want to leave? You know, look at Martinelli. He went on trial at Man United 4 times and they said no. But we gave him the chance and we gave him the doorway to come into the Premier League. So if we're in that Champions League, why would he want to leave?
He's not going to get straight into their team, is he?
Exactly. He become a legend here at Arsenal.
Bernadette makes a good point here. Who'd have guessed that Xhaka would be such a key player for the Arsenal right now? More lives than a cat.
Yeah, that's about right. That's about right.
from Rudy. Asked Mikel about the short turnaround to Villa. He said sarcastically, "Thank you so much for the Premier League." He was very, very unhappy. He insists the players, though, will be at full tilt for the Villa game. Stan, Richard wants to know what's happened to same old Arsenal USA.
I went off and made a solo album.
Very good. Fair enough.
I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I think probably asked Tanner, the guy running it.
Okie dokie. Russ Morgan says, even Gunner blog, don't talk about Gunner blog, I can't stand him. Worm. Where was there was another question here. Someone, here we go. Ravinder. He says he's watching on his phone. Hello, Ravinder. Stan, is that an old school Sergio Tacchini top or an Arsenal top? Looking good either way.
Yeah, it's a Sergio Tacchini jumper. Thank you.
How old is that?
I've had this for about, I don't know, maybe 6 years. About 6 years old. I bought it in Amsterdam off the internet, off of 80s Casuals. Go there. They completely stock Tacchini, old Fila stuff, Diodora trainers, Lois jeans, all of it. 80s
Lovely.
Casuals.
In the summer of 1992, I went to the Beehive Centre in Cambridge and bought 6 pairs of grey Converse socks. I've got one of them fuckers left and I'm not letting it go. I never wear it. It is in my sock drawer and I look at it and I weep and I think that's got more football intelligence than half the people on Twitter. And it's 30 years old. Wow. Great days. Oh, another thing from Rudy. Arteta on the team being down. They were because they know how well they played. We lost 2 games to City and Liverpool when we played amazing games. Those boxes are the difference. Those boxes are the difference. Boxes? Why boxes? Have I missed something? Anyway, let's move on to. We've got so much stuff there. Let's move on to the second half.
Yes.
Deac, I've put 46 minutes. Mane scores, but 3 yards offside. That was a bit of a telling sign that Klopp had gone at half time. Go on, lads. We've let them run round a little bit. Let's show them how a team that have been at this for 5 years go and do it, haven't they? Or 7 years, or whatever it is.
Yeah, well, as I said, Liverpool are meant to win stuff right now. They need to be winning Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues consistently with where they are. And it started to show that Liverpool counter-attacking ability and the fault that they literally get the ball from their half to the opposing goal so quickly. It's terrifying, absolutely terrifying. Their wing backs, Robertson and Trent, to have that ability where they're so good at attacking and overlapping. It's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. But yeah, it wasn't very long afterwards when the first one went into the back of the net. So.
Stan,
I was having a bit of a dilemma at that moment because I was still in the toilet having a wee, and I could hear the TV in the background. And when I heard the guy go "Goal Mane," and I sort of turned, I didn't realise that the cat was in the bathroom standing by my feet. So I pissed on the cat. And then I tried to get the cat to clean the cat, and then I turned on the shower, and the cat's I'm not having any of that. And then the missus came out to find out what all of the hullabaloo was. Meanwhile, I was missing the football, so it was a bit of a mad few minutes there for a moment.
Oh God!
Oh wow, that's
your poor cat.
That's more eventful than I had. Sean Lake
she came in and had the cat and had the shower. She goes, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm cleaning the cat." She goes, "Why?" I goes, "I think I pissed."
And the only thing I had at that time was Sean laying on the floor at her place on WhatsApp video complaining that the washing machine wasn't draining. And I'm going, well, it's fucking free, you little shit.
Michael Scott there. See you on the flippity flip. Bit of Michael Scott. Can't go wrong.
I don't know who that is.
Office, US version?
American. I don't watch that. Nonsense. Let's leave it at the English version. Actually, I should watch
Ricky Gervais basically writes the entire thing.
48 minute Stan. But Martinelli, wow, just wow, amazing. He got past half their team. He ran all the way from the halfway line. He ran all the way down, got past everyone, and then what did he do after that? I won't ruin it.
A little dart into the box.
Oh. I wrote it. Martinelli, twinkle toes, reminds me of the young Ronaldo when he was at United, when he used to play on the left wing. Really does. It reminds me exactly similar.
Little nut. He did a little bit of a nuts as well before he got into the box. he was like, right, this. I've got to just do this, and he's got that in his locker to be able to just unleash. Unbelievable. So unlucky. That would have been fantastic to get someone on the end of that. And as I said, Lacazette, he's not the guy. We know what we need. We get someone out there, get someone in the summer, get Martinelli, doing that same thing again against Liverpool again next season, and we'll have a top striker in the box, I think.
I know a lot of people call out that Martinelli maybe should move in the middle, but I think what he does on that left-hand side is magical.
I love him. I don't want him playing through the middle on his own. I don't think he's got that. I don't think you're using him to his strengths by playing him as a solo striker up the top. He's not a guy that holds up the ball and gets other people involved. He's the guy that gets on the end of it to bury it in the back of the net. But he also has that ability to put the ball in with a fantastic pass due to his dribbling ability, getting him in spaces like we've seen today what we're talking about. Absolute incredible ability. Genuinely blown away.
I've just realised I've been tweeting the preview show for the live show for Twitter. The rest of them are fine. Don't panic. But at least the preview show might get a few more views now. That's nice of them. It's an absolutely wonderful thing to see. My notes. The next one I've got is Laka took the ball around Alisson, then gave it back to Odegaard, who had a shot, and Alisson just about got to it, Deac. Well, so close, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who wants to take that? Go on.
Overall, there's always going to be moments where, however we're playing, we can open ourselves up to situations, but we've just got to believe in ourselves. And it's been a minute since I've backed. I've never been out. But I've been frustrated with Arteta a lot. But I think now we're really starting to see exactly what the angle is and where we're going, and we're all very much looking forward to seeing what goes on next.
Phil giving us a little insight into his life there. I think we'll move on from that before it gets too saucy. 51 minutes. Again, we're really at it. Saka low shot and saved Stan. At that point, did you think a goal? We can smell a goal, can't we?
Yeah, we were so close. We were still in that at that point. We were still in the game.
And then Stan, 54th minute. What did I say in the previous show?
I thought of you when he said that. I did think of you when you said that.
Sean was on the phone. I'm going, this effing C word, F him. I effing hate him. It even looks like a dirty little scouser. Shit curly hair.
Track the wrong man.
Pale skin. I bet he's even got a scout like Jan Mulby. I bet he's even got a Scouse accent already.
And the way the ball went in, it looked like one of them FIFA glitches when it kind of just glitches through the net from the angle that I saw it from. I was like, did that actually go in?
It sounds like Deac's got his idea of who's at fault. But who would you say is at fault, Stan? Can Ramsdale, can he take any blame for that? He didn't block it. He didn't stop it. He didn't get anything to it. He didn't catch it.
I think when he looks back at that, he will feel that he could have done a little bit better, perhaps. That's what I'd say. I think he'll know that he could have maybe done a little bit better on that.
Deac?
Cedric tracking the wrong man.
Who was he tracking?
He was tracking Robertson. Was it Robertson down the left? Yeah, Robertson down the left. So allowing Jota to just make that run quite easily without any real problems. Ramsdale should have done so much better. He's going to be, as you said, he's going to be very, very frustrated when he looks back on that and sees that he gets beaten quite easily on the near post. That's goalkeeping 101, right? Don't get beaten at the near post. Don't get stand up tall and don't go down first. But he made too many mistakes there. And that's hopefully who we sign. We sign someone that can just bury it in situations like that, because we were very much the team that looked like that we're going to go on and get the goal and actually maybe take the game to Liverpool and maybe get the 3 points at the end. But turning it on its head like that and getting that goal, I think really says that we need to find ourselves a better backup right back. And Ramsdale's just going to get experience through time, and I'm very much happy to lose a game like this if it means that Ramsdale's going to come back even stronger next time.
And when I saw that goal, I thought, as soon as the ball went in, the first thing I thought of was, that's exactly what we're missing. Somebody like that who can score those kind of goals. That's exactly what we
have
need.
Nothing.
Yeah.
We're going to come to that in a second. Good point here from Phil. He's third of the night. I think you should give up YouTube, Phil. Would be wrong to give Rami stick. Our best goalie since Seaman. Possibly Lehman was up there, but that's easy to forget.
I don't think just because he's playing very well doesn't mean that you're immune from any forms of criticism. That's how you develop as a human being, never mind as a football player. You've got to know where you've made a mistake so you can become better next time. As much as he has been a phenomenal player for us, considering that most of the Arsenal fan base, including myself, thought that £30 million for a backup goalkeeper from someone that's been relegated. Okay, yeah, he was the player of the season each time, but he's been relegated a couple of times. We weren't fully on board with what Arsenal were doing, but I don't think anybody will have any complaints anymore.
Rudy's put in a quote. There's a quote here from Jamie Carragher, who I'd have shot into the moon. I think Arsenal are a better team than Man United and Tottenham. Yeah, that's obvious. And Rudy also says, I think the team Arteta has set up, the togetherness, the way they play, it looks like a proper team. I think they'll just do it and finish fourth. Yep. Bloody hell, Carragher, that'll do. At least he's not spitting at children. You've got to look at the bright side of it. Stan, I think one of the last decent things we did of the game, and this highlighted the entire problem with this Arsenal team. 57 minutes, a quick free kick. Was utter nonsense. Lacazette wasn't ready nor quick enough. That just showed.
Martinelli was just like that, literally like the Trent free corner. Liverpool in the Champions League final. He just got that switch on quicker. He's got the reflexes and just like, I'm going to do this right now and be confident enough to take control of the situation. And Martinelli played that fantastically short through ball to Lacazette, and he just wasn't there. He just wasn't there.
Yeah. What do you think to that, Stan? Because it almost looked like slow motion, didn't it? It's almost like someone's gone, Laka, look, Laka, what? Behind you. What? Like pan? Wait, I want to go and get that ball. And then, gone, over and done with. Good night. And I
think that's what Mikel Arteta was touching on when he said that, we've done a lot of good things box to box, but it's in the box where we let ourselves down, and that's what we're missing, that sharpness.
Really good point here from Ravinda. I think we're about where we were a year ago. If we get fourth, progress. In this Villa podcast I never shut up about, the young man asked me, he said, is this too much too soon for Arsenal? Because I made the point that we've gone Champions League for a million years, Europa League for 3 years, then nothing, then eighth place twice. It should realistically be, well, then you move back up to the Europa League and then back up to the Champions League. But I said, I think with the players we bought in the summer and the players we're going to buy this summer and the clear out we've had, I don't think the Champions League is going to be too much of a big stretch, because most of the teams in it are rubbish, because there's far too many teams that are from shit countries that are not great at football. I mean, in Germany, you've only got one decent team. In Italy, you've got a few average. There's no teams in Italy that are fantastic. In Spain, maybe only Real Madrid are really good, compared to how they were of years gone by, where you had Juventus and all these other teams dominating and doing really well. Yeah, Barca have dropped off. Dortmund are a bloody mess. AC Milan, Inter Milan, Juventus, Napoli.
They're losing Haaland 1,000,000% this summer. He's gone. I found it interesting, actually, so to jump in there, speaking of Haaland, saying about a striker, we can maybe do some madness again in the summer. Apparently, it reports he's not interested in what the pay packet is or where he plays. He's just very interested in a project. But if that's
the manager.
Yes, and that's an actual quote. I feel very much like what's his name? Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying there's a chance. So you're saying there's a chance. Just imagine. We've got one of the pieces already in the Arsenal team. We've already got a Norwegian. We've already got Merton Ødegaard, the national team captain. Let's go and get his compatriot.
I bet his agent, Mia Raiola, raised an eyebrow when he read that about not interested in the money. I bet he was like, really?
What?
Yeah, it's very interesting. Very, very. So if that's like a genuine thing, I feel like that that gives us an opportunity here. We're looking for a striker that's going to be playing all the games, doing it all. We need the new talisman to lead from the front. We need that king piece on the chessboard to really just finish off the team, make it look sparkly and new, and really start to compete for the league.
His release clause is lower than what we would have shelled out for Vlahovic.
100%.
Yeah. As far as I'm
it's
concerned,
like 72 mil or something like that.
68 million euros, I think it is.
Oh, well, there you go. So yeah,
80,
he's got a stupid release.
If you don't ask,
it's
you don't.
stupid
I'm a
cheap.
believer in if you don't ask, you don't get. At least it's a show of intent. Even if he blanks us and says no, thank you, at least we put ourselves out there.
Well, I feel like we did that with Vlahovic, didn't we, in the January transfer?
Exactly.
The fact that we kind of put all of our eggs in one basket in that regard, and very much went in there for him, and our agent, and his agent was just like, "Nah, that's not happening." And we were like, "No, but we'll still give you time for you to make your final decision." And we were very much ousted in the January transfer window, that we were very much one egg, one basket kind of situation, and we didn't really maybe push on for Alexander Isak as much as we could maybe have done. But I loved their response. The fact that they just didn't want to make any just deals for the sake of making deals, but wanted to make sure that the project was done correctly. And if it meant that it had to be postponed to the summer, then that's what needs to be done. And if we can have a January transfer where we don't do anything and we ask questions, then we go and sign a world-class player like Haaland or Lautaro Martinez from Inter, someone of that ability, I think we can. I think we'll have a very interesting season.
Which is why so much hinges on and getting into the Champions League, because
100%.
then the pathway is open to someone like a Haaland, and it doesn't hurt
exactly
that his compatriot Martin Odegaard is loving his time at Arsenal and can't stop telling everybody that wants to ask him about his time at Arsenal how much he's loving it. That can only help. But
that's not
hinges on that Champions League for me.
I completely agree. I'm really excited for the first time in a very long time. I'm enjoying watching the Arsenal on a weekend now. Okay. Especially I really thought about it when we beat Leicester 2-0. I was like, I'm really enjoying watching Arsenal Football Club right now. I'm not getting stressed and frustrated as much as I've ever been in a very long time. So if we have a summer like we could potentially do and pull off a madness, I think next season is going to be very good.
Just looking at Haaland's stats, he's only 21. He's 22 in July.
That's the thing. He fits the model and everything.
Yeah. You could say to him 5 years, and if we aren't winning the Champions League and stuff like that, then you can go. I mean, at 21, he's going to have his national captain with him, a whole team full of young. He must look at Saka, Martinelli, Smith Rowe, and Odegaard and go. And even Ramsdale and Benny Blanco and Gabriel and Tierney, and look at that and go, that's everything.
Here's the question: even if something like the release clause is gettable, and I saw that somebody did ask this question earlier, and you've probably got it marked. Let's say the salary is say £500,000, 500,000. Do we break the bank and do that? And you've got to look at the bigger picture of other players thinking, well, then I want a pay rise as well. Yeah, is it worth going?
It can unsettle the ship.
Have we earned the right? Are we in a place where we've earned the right to be paying $500,000 a week?
But that's the thing. I don't
be around that much.
That's the thing. I don't think he would expect it if he came to Arsenal. As I said, his quote apparently wasn't about how much he was going to be earning. It was the project and the manager. If he was coming to Arsenal, he's not a stupid idiot, and neither is his agent. He's not going to go to and waste time on speaking to Arsenal's representatives to go, well, this is our demand. And it's like, yeah, but you're not that thick, are you? Why did you answer the phone if you know that we're going to be, we very publicly said, that this is kind of where we are with this.
Well, I would say it would be really impressive if, let's say, he gets into a situation where he ends up going to a team where he believes in the project and the manager, and they're paying him, say, 280, 300 grand a week, and he turns down, say, a Madrid who's willing to pay him maybe.
No, that's why you got to move fast. You got to have conversations. Yeah, no, sure. I think we're all dreaming, aren't we? At this point, we're all thinking Holland and stuff. That would be incredible. But let's be honest, Real Madrid are very much the setters on that one, as our Man City. Both these teams are going to be the ones that are really much going to be the ones that are going to be pushing to get his signature before anyone else. But you know, I've seen crazier things happen.
For money, yeah. I mean, they say,
I've seen
can we
crazier
afford
things
500
happen.
grand? Just Lee asked the question. Well, Lacazette's gone. We'll go in the summer. And then Aubameyang's gone. There you go. That's 460 grand. Those two players going will pay his wages. And we'll easily have the money for it, for the transfer fee.
I can still remember being on that holiday in Ibiza many years ago and picking up the son from the stand in the gift shop while my missus was buying some oil, turning it to the back page and seeing that we just signed Dennis Bergkamp. No indication. There was no rumours. There was no internet back then. There was no IDK. It just on holiday on the back of the newspaper. I almost collapsed in the shop when I saw that. I mean, you know, who knows what we can pull off?
Cheaper than Pepe. I saw that one.
You know, Mesut Ozil, you know, whether you think
exactly.
You're bad at the end of it all, but when we signed him, I mean, I was like, wow, man, you know.
I was in Turkey. There was no, and we were in these like, it was a resort, but it was like these complexes, like little huts or whatever, and I had no reception, so I had to make my way to the clubhouse area, but there was no one there. There's no lights on. It was derelict. But I was just stealing a little bit of Wi-Fi just towards the end of the transfer window, and we signed Ozil. I was like, I can't believe I'm sitting in the middle of nowhere in Turkey with no lights, nobody around me, and I'm just screaming, just like, oh my god, I can't believe we did it. We signed him. Couldn't believe it. Madness could happen again, guys, and I'm going to be optimistic.
Right, let's carry on with the did Saka shot 54th minute, Jota goal. Effing Jota, effing C-word, effing awful goal. Ramsdale. Oh no, we've done that one. A quick feed. Oh, we've done 60
minutes. We're talking about the next one. Just talk about the next one.
Firmino goal. We have shit the bed, falling over each other, not clearing the ball. They have lost their heads, and I counted from the moment that it started on the right-hand side. We had 9 players clear or attempt to clear the ball, or 9 times until Saka that was from Xhaka's first touch on the right-hand side, and then to where Saka, I think, kicked it out on the left-hand side. 9 times we tried to clear the ball. Deac, what you got on that? Because that was
Saka should have cleared it. Saka should have cleared it.
Didn't he clear it against his man and he come back in?
Yeah, it came off against Robinson, I think it was. And he just bombed down the left and put the ball in beautifully. We should have done better in the center of the park, the center of the box anyway. But Saka should have cleared it 100%.
Stan?
It was at that point when that second goal went in, I just thought to myself, now is the time to put our eye on the Aston Villa game now. It's done. It's done now. Now's the time to take off Lacazette and give him a breather, and Saka as well. And I was trying to think who the third person could be, but it was done now. You know, we put up a good battle, but it's time to look ahead at the 3 points on the table at Villa.
Yeah, sad, isn't it? Oh, Mark's there. I'm glad you got I said on there, so when I was doing the same old Arsenal yesterday, I said crop rotation in the 14th century. Either of you two know what that's from?
Yeah, I do. That is from the young ones.
Hey! And Mark went, I got that quote, and I thought, bloody hell, I'm talking about stuff from 1981. How many people are going to remember that?
Danny, I'm gonna have to break your heart, my man. I'm gonna have to bounce. My other half needs me, my help with the cat. A little bit of an emergency, so I'm gonna have to bounce. I've had a great conversation with you guys. Fantastic stuff. Let's push on, and it was lovely to meet you. But let's push on and see what Arsenal can do.
Get you on again soon.
Yeah, 100%, guys. It's been a pleasure. Everyone in the chat,
all the best.
Make sure to like the video, share. See you later, guys.
Cheers, mate. See you later. That was Deac. He's got his own YouTube channel, Deac and Entertainment. Twitch channel. He doesn't do as much as he used to because he's just moved, but he's really good. He will do 5 or 6 hour shows just chatting all the time on his own. It's not easy, much like Nick does, but he plays better games than Nick, which isn't really hard. After this, Stan, I've put, this is where Arteta needs to make changes after the goal. Yeah. ESR should have come on for Odegaard, Pepe on either of the wings, and made Eddie up front. The players are absolutely fucked. And he doesn't. And I put that on the 62nd minute, and it was another 10 minutes, another 12 minutes before he brought on Pepe for Saka. And I put 74 minutes, Pepe on for Saka, wrong sub, too late.
Yeah, as I said, I think it was one of my only gripes about the game was that the substitution should have, I felt, happened a lot earlier.
It's Wenger all over again, isn't it?
It was done, and we should be looking at resting players now for the game at the weekend.
Someone pissed on his cat. That's why he's got to go.
I'm not. I was thinking that as well. There seems to be a pattern.
Yeah, it is. But this is a problem that I've got, and I've mentioned it a few times now. If I knew anything about football, Stan, and you knew anything about football, we wouldn't be sitting here talking to each other. We'd be managing Barcelona. Well, I'd be managing Barcelona in the Spanish fifth division because I'd get the fuckers relegated. But you can, as if somebody's been watching football for a long time like I have, you can see that players need to be substituted. He's got his favourites, and it seems unless you're his favourite, you aren't getting games. Now, ESR comes on a lot because he's one of his favourites. The rest of them he doesn't like. The game's like so many times we needed to bring El Neni on or bring Holding on to shut the game down.
Yeah.
Or like recently against Leicester, that game was won with about half an hour to go, and he still kept most of the players on the pitch. It comes back to the old football manager, championship manager thing. You can't, when your players are down to 67% and then they're going red or yellow, you bring on your other players, so then they're okay for the next game. I know it doesn't work exactly like that in real life, but he has got a problem with who he trusts on the pitch, hasn't he?
Yeah, you shouldn't be. I don't think you should be ending games with any change in your pocket, because if you're doing badly, then you need to change to try and counter it to get something out of the game. If you're cruising, then you should be looking ahead. There should be young players that might need minutes, for example, to blood them. You know, look at players like Tavares and Sambi Lokonga. We haven't seen them in ages.
Yeah, and I reckon Tavares could have done the job. If you'd have swapped him over for Tierney, because Tierney was spent, just let Tavares go as a left wing back, running up and down there with Martinelli, they would have caused havoc. May not have done anything, but it couldn't have got any worse for us, because at that point, I mean, we had a little bit of spurt of effort, a little dribble at the end, but for me, the game, that was all too late, and you think...
It does worry me now that, I mean, even though we may have everybody fit to pick our first 11, we kind of know who our first 11 is now. Are any of them going to be knackered? You know, what's the percentage of what we're going to get from them? That's what I worry about, because I feel that there was 3 points at the table at Villa.
Seems like we were right that get nothing from this game, and it's all on the Villa game. But he didn't. He left the players on there for too long again. Martinelli has just run his ass off for 90 minutes. He's going to be fucked on Saturday.
Yeah,
we'll see. We might be wrong, but at least we have at least we've got a 2-week break after the Villa game. And then the final note I've got, 87th minute, good effort from Martinelli, just wide of the post. Yeah. Good to see him play and be competitive for 90 minutes. So there's so much positive to take out of this game. I'm not down about it. We've said it in the preview. Neither of us really expected anything from this game. And to do as much good as we did in that game, I'm okay with it.
Martinelli was so unlucky not to get a goal today out of that game, because he worked extremely hard, done a lot of good things today. You know, even some of the dirty stuff by tracking back and being defensive as well. Unlucky not to get a goal.
I keep looking at this Haaland stats. You know, it makes me moist. It makes me dribble. I mean, I just want to. Sometimes I want to cry when I look at it, because I just think, oh my God, what on a... Oh, hello, Betty. She's been all cute. In the Bundesliga, they play 34 games a season. First season, he was only there for half a season. Last season, he played 28 out of 34. But his first half a season, 13 in 15. Last season, 27 in 28. This season, 16 in 16, and he's been injured for a lot of the season. Overall for Dortmund, 80 goals in 81 games.
Who's that?
Haaland.
Oh, Haaland. Yeah, he's a cyborg, isn't he?
Oh, did you know that when he was playing for a youth international, they won? He scored 9 goals when the under-20s played Honduras and beat them 12-0. He scored 9.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to close that window, Stan. I can't keep looking at it. I just look at it and I wonder, oh, what a player.
Yeah.
Right. So what else have we got here? Forney Nose says, at least we have ESR to play on the left. And Phil says, Stan, pass Danny the tissues. Yeah. I'm dribbling. When I say I'm moist, I mean I'm dribbling. This beard's coming off. It's got to come off maybe tomorrow. Maybe it's not now. Tomorrow it's too long. I'm getting dribble in it and food in it. Anyway, Stan, there we go. We've done an hour and 10 minutes. Betty's laying there. Are you all right, darling? Are you okay? Yes?
I'll tell you what I'm really pleased about, though.
Yeah, go on.
And I'm getting, and it's the feeling that I'm getting from the chat box and also on Twitter, that it's not a case that we've lost and everybody's gone, you know what I mean? It's the end of the world and trying to set everything on fire and everybody's shit. And you can see, right, we've lost one game in 6.
Yeah.
I think the run can start again on Saturday and we start another run. And if we keep picking up points, we will stick in 4th place, because they're in disarray at Manchester United. They really are in disarray. And
you see the other night against Atletico, they were dog shit.
Even they may be writing on paper, they may have better players than us value-wise and some of what these players have done in the game. The difference is that when you watch them play, it's a little bit like when I was watching Arsenal a little bit under Emery and at the beginning of Arteta, and you couldn't see what was going on. You had people just like jogging around, not being able to get passes, trying to hide, playing it safe, and we ain't doing that anymore. We don't do that anymore. I see a team that's playing for each other.
I agree with you. We do. And not only
and that's half the battle to get that. It's half the battle. We've got rid of all the little cliques, you know, this camp and that camp. That's all gone now. Everybody's on the same page, and that is the half the battle.
Yeah, the players, the manager, the staff, the fans, even Twitter mostly is agreeing. I had a little bit of a moan today, but I said didn't expect anything, and we were brilliant for quite a while. Here we go. Anders put something in here. What does he put? The key thing is that nothing has changed for us against the top 4. We are still outclassed despite spending more than a lot of the other teams. Not top 4. There's only 3 teams better than us in the league.
Here's where I would disagree with that. The problem was previously, towards the end of Wenger's reign and right up to where we are now, is that we were not able to pick up the easy points against teams that have just come up from a lower division, for example, like Brentford at the beginning of the season. But way before that, we were not picking up points against the teams where we should be. We're now beginning to do that, which is why we're higher up the table this point in the season, because we are getting the job done where we should be getting it done. Once you get that base, that's when you start to then think about, now, what do we need to do? What do we need to tweak to be even more competitive with the top tier teams? And that's going to happen when we go back into the window this summer, because we've been told that we've got bags of money. That's why I keep on drumming it in. We've got to finish in the Champions League, because it doesn't matter if we've got bags of money, we won't be able to attract the top tier players. If we can do that, we are going to be laughing.
We certainly are, and we can't do anything without money. That's what the gist of everything we're doing boils down to. And I think we've got more than enough talent in our team how many teams are from the group stages on? I mean, if we finish 4th, we go into the pre-qualifying, don't we? Or we English teams advanced past having to pre-qualify. Either way, there's only about maybe 10, 12 teams in Europe that are better than us. And
remember
3 of those play in the Premier League.
These players are definitely up for it. Some players will get up to £500,000 in a bonus if we get into the Champions League. That's a hell of an incentive.
Quite a few of their cars gold wrapped, which is what they want. Right, we've been going an hour and 12 minutes, Stan. I've had the pleasure of your company for 2 hours today. I think you've spent more time with me than your missus. I can hear McDonald's. How was your McDonald's? Was it good?
It was lovely. I'm now going to go off and get a couple of Guinnesses. That's what I feel like now.
Ugh, dirty stuff. Bernadette puts a squad that's together night and day when compared to Man United. They're throwing cash at failure.
Exactly.
There you go. What better way? What wise words, Bernadette? To sounds like one of my aunties. I've got an auntie Bernadette, I think, or a nephew. No, a niece, a cousin. That's the one I've got. Margaret's. I think it's one of Margaret's daughters. Anyway, I've got hundreds of them. I don't know. Thank you very much, everybody, as usual, for giving us your time. Brilliant. We are going to be back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. It's going to be live on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and it's going to be me, Josh, Carl, and maybe Femi. And you never know. I mean, by this Saturday, I'll have done 10 podcasts in a week.
Wow,
that's too many. So hopefully.
Thanks, Premier League. Thanks, Premier League.
Hopefully, one of them scumbag. They won't listen to this. Hopefully, Femi might. Hello, Femi, and Carl might. one of those scumbags might host it, and then I can put my feet up and do nothing. But because my mum's going to be here tomorrow night, that's lovely. Thanks, Stan. Thanks, Deac. You can find Deac on Twitter at Deacon Entertainment, DEACON. Stan, tell people where they can find you and what stuff you've got planned.
You can find me at Stan_the_man68 on Twitter, and you can catch me tomorrow night, as always, on the Arsenal Fan Circle at 5:40 PST time. Come and join us if you're up.
Lovely. Everyone's putting nice messages in the chat. That's very kind of you. Everyone's saying thanks and happy. Is it when's St. Patrick's Day?
17th, isn't it?
Oh, no, that'll be tomorrow then.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'll be seeing me mammy tomorrow, and she doesn't give a shit about it. Yes. So right, I'm going to stop waffling. I'm going to go, and we will see you later. Thank you very much, everybody, and don't be too down. We're improving every game. We're improving and looking better, and we are entertaining, and the crowd is up for it, and everything is almost looking shiny. Thank you very much. Oh, we didn't do your questions. I might save some of those for the podcast tomorrow because I've got to go. It's 11:30. Cheers, everyone. Goodbye.